Hey, welcome. It is Rasco of Rasco and Disco, of the Rasco and Disco Beer Show. I believe that's what we call it. We have got a good guest on tonight. We have got Pivo UK, and hello Phil. You've prompt as usual. And we are going to be talking to them about Czech beer, which is something we're going to do for a while. Czech Beer Club. Hello, hello, hello. Oh, hi, Disco. How are you? And yeah, I will invite Disco onto the show. There we go. A good one tonight. I'm all ready to rock and roll. I'm waiting for something to inevitably go wrong. Thinking positively, honestly.
Yes, Rasco. Good evening. Good evening. How are you doing, sir? Good evening. How are you doing, Rasco? Well, it wouldn't be a Rasco and Disco beer show without a few technical issues. And there we go. Yeah, sorry, Phil. Well pointed out. Like I say, it wouldn't be a Rasco and Disco beer show without a couple of technical issues at the start. Rasco, come back to me, man. Where are you?
I'm here. Don't you worry.
Okay, we can hear you, but in your usual beautiful pixelated self, so.
Don't worry. We're all set to go. I can't hear you, Rasco, from Fulda.
No, Phil says he can't hear you.
No, that comes earlier. Right, we're all fine now. What was going on is my phone and my laptop were connected, and for some reason my headphones was not connected to my phone. So I just did a whole nice fluid intro of hello, how are you, and everything, and it's just been for nothing. Anyway, we do have a guest on tonight. We do have the Czech Beer Club watching already. And yeah, we're just going to wait until I guess this gives us some time to Czech Beer Club to talk. I want to give a shout out actually, very quickly I'm on about beer snacks. Hello, Bird Dagger. So this, it's Fearless Flavour pork cracklings, salt and vinegar. They're out in Croydon Market at the moment. And yeah, they're selling a lot of good pork cracklings, really good pork cracklings. They don't have any social media whatsoever, but they do great food, and they're from Bath. I brought some chili sauce for them and broke the bottle. So I'll be back tomorrow to get more chili sauce. Probably shouldn't eat this while on camera.
You know about my golden rule, not to eat food on camera. I've got one coming up next week, but yeah, I try not to eat too much food on camera if I can.
Well, tough.
Eating the camera, man.
Yeah, it was delicious, by the way. So there you go. Right, this is
That's really
interesting. So let's start here. What are you drinking, Disco?
Well, I've gone early on the beers that I had planned for tonight. I'm straight into the Czech beers. I've got Jarosovsky, Lezak, 12 degrees, 5.1% Pilsner.
Oh, yes. That sounds nice.
Yeah, nice.
To start with.
Quite sweet Czech lager. I do like the sweeter beers. It's got a little citrusy vibe, little citrusy note going on, little almost citra in taste, but a little bit of sort of jammy marmalade kind of the colour. It's nice, sort of like darkish amber colour. In my Sikov glass, off-brand obviously on the glass, but it's my Czech beer glass, so I thought I'd get it in that.
Yeah. Right. Oh, Pivo UK. Hello.
Hey.
How you doing? we're going to send you an invite to come join us. It's good to see you. Dobre dan or dobreche. However you say it in Czech. I know a few Slavic. No, not him. Not him. Invite. Boom. Invite to Pivo UK. Yes, I almost sent one to Phil. Sorry, Phil. We will have you on the show one day just for laughs. Why not? And you said it's coming home. Baby, it's already home. It's right here. I'd say that. I sent the invite. Please tell me it's working. Invite questions.
Yeah, point out, we're having slight technical issues, Rasko. You're a little pixelated, but here we go. So,
slightly pixelated, you say. Are you doing anything on Instagram on your laptop?
No, nothing at all, my friend.
Oh. Hello.
Hi.
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 Yes, we can hear you.
How's everyone doing?
Wow.
Not too bad.
We're great, mate. How are you?
This end, but it's good to see you, and we can see you loud and clear. So, nice to have you.
Nice to have you, indeed.
Yeah.
Indeed. I'm afraid you've got the Brit contingent today, so I'm gonna do my best to talk about Czech beer.
That's fine. That's fine.
whilst enjoying one or two whilst we talk.
Okay, I was going to say you got a good beer on. What have you got in the glass to start off with, Dean?
I've started off with the Kutnahora 12. Which is
One sec. Dean, would you mind introducing yourself to our audience, please? The people who are watching. The 10 people who are watching.
Absolutely. So my name is Dean, and I am operations manager here at Pivo in central London. And I'll be joined tonight by my colleague Adam, who's trying to run away. He's over there. So Adam's going to be helping me. Adam's going to be helping me with talking about beer. He's also British. Unfortunately, our Czech colleagues have got the night off. So don't ask us any Czech language questions because we'll be stumped. So, but we know a bit about. We know a bit about Czech beer. Whether we get the pronunciations right is another matter. But we'll do our best.
Oh, no.
Sorry, I missed that.
Is that in return for you guys having the night off tomorrow night, or are you not too fussed about tomorrow?
Well, funnily enough, I've a coincidence. But very fortunate coincidence. But no, Adam's going to be running the ship tomorrow. So it should be a busy night. We're fully booked for tomorrow. So yeah, it'll be good.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Busy one today.
We fully appreciate it.
Sorry, you both asked the question at the same time, then.
We fully appreciate your time.
The joys of technology.
Indeed. Right. Hang on, we're gonna try something. Does that work? No, that doesn't work. No, that doesn't.
I was really enjoying the tour of the bar you were giving us there. So, first of all, I'd like to say thanks for joining us. Thanks for doing this. This all came about because 3 year ago, we did our first international visit to. Oh, please don't say we're gone. Hello. No, I've gone.
No, Rasko, you're okay. And I now can't see Dean.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, dear. Well, I'm going to crack open this beer. I was going to ask them to give me a recommendation because I know it's on their website and they're gone. Oh, dear.
I think you might have
Pivo has left.
Issues, yeah. Hopefully they will be back in shortly.
Yes. Hopefully. but I'm going to crack this open, and hopefully they can tell us. We're asking as quickly as many questions as we can while this lasts.
Yeah.
I had a feeling this might happen. But hey. Oh, nice aroma to it. That is very almost apple-like aroma.
Cool.
So that's very strange. White beer. Oh, okay. Water, strange that. Barley, malt, hops, yeast. Nothing particularly, amazing or different about it. But yeah, hello to everyone who's joined us. Some names I've never seen before. It's nice to have you. I guess should be back. Here I go for the dickhead, or I do. Or knobhead. Oh, that's a lovely colour. Oh my God. I'm just checking it's not the light, but there's a slight tint and froth. That is full of bubbles.
Cool.
And Pivo's back. Pivo is back.
Everybody else who is watching along, if you want to bash some questions in the comments, we'll ask them out as soon as we can see them. But we might miss a few. But thanks to everybody for popping in, saying hello, and talking about Czech beer. Yeah, Pivo back in the house, yeah?
The comments, invite sent, and I've accepted, and I'm just waiting for Instagram to wake up. And hopefully this is the penultimate show of Instagram. It's not, but it will be. But yeah, I'm drinking this Czech.
Sorry about that. Sorry about that.
Don't worry.
It's okay, mate. You look like a round circle at the moment.
It's an issue we face almost every week with technology.
Right.
Phil has said in the comments that is a crystal clear beer, and he is not wrong.
Yeah, looks good, man. Looks good.
That one, Czech Pale Ale, Albert.
That's yes, and one of the Albert ones, yeah.
Pivo Blutska, hello. I'm just gonna do some waves. Pivo, you're still a circle. It's a very good looking circle if it means anything.
I mean, it's all crystal clear this end, so I don't know what's happening. Sorry, I can only apologise.
No, mate, don't
worry. We have these technical issues every week. We're hoping to maybe move off of Instagram at some point and go over to YouTube. So hopefully that's we can always reschedule. But for the moment, we'll persevere because we can hear you loud and clear, Dean.
Okay. Let me try.
Okay.
Oh, what does that do? So,
if you can see this beer, this Albert, I believe it's served at your bar?
Yes. Yeah, we have that occasionally, yeah.
Have you got any secrets or knowledge on this beer? Because so far, I'm very much enjoying it. The stress of you leaving the show has forced me to drink it, so I was going to ask you for advice first and what I chose, but I went with this, and the colour of it is amazing. It looks like apple juice, if I'm honest. But it certainly is not apple juice.
Certainly not.
No, it has a slight apple aroma when I open the bottle.
Are you sure? Are you sure it's not cider?
Mate, I'm pretty sure. No, I'm not a cider enthusiast. My ears would be going up and losing more of my hair if it was cider. But no, this is Czech Pale Ale.
So
vegan beer.
Adam's just gone to get one. It's so this is a new product that was created mostly for the English market and certainly for us here at Pivo. So it's, as I understand it, it's a reimagination of an old style that used to be quite popular in the Czech Republic. It's so essentially it's a cross between a pale ale and a pale lager. So it has the body of like a classic Czech pale lager, but with the sort of hop content of a pale ale, if that makes sense.
You certainly get that. That makes a lot of sense. Now that you say that, because it definitely is. It's got that slight bitterness at the back end of it when you tend to swallow, and it's reminiscent of a pale ale, and it has some lager tones to it at the front end of the mouth. So yeah, that's an interesting one. Is the Czech beer market, is it adapting to the new wave of craft beer coming in from America, or is it sticking to its guns? Because it's got quite a long tradition of beer history. I mean, beer was in the Czech realm of that part of the world long before the Slavic people even arrived. Also, Wikipedia tells me.
There you are. Right. So, in answer to your question, my understanding is that the Czechs tend to stick to their classic styles pretty rigidly. There is a inverted commas new wave of Czech breweries producing different modern craft beer styles. But they're few and far between. Then the production is still pretty low. We feature some of them here. So we've got a couple of new breweries called Siberia is one, and Matushka is another, and they're doing sort of more English or American style pales and IPAs, and they also dabble in. There's a few breweries doing sours now as well. And yeah, just sort of mimicking European or other styles from around the world, but it's like in terms of consumption, it's nowhere near, doesn't even touch the size of the sort of more traditional lager styles that I have over there. So yeah, so people like Albrecht kind of dabble in both a bit. So they're a very old brewery. They stick to, they do their classic 10s, 11, 12 degree lagers very well, but then they're sort of sticking their toe in the water in terms of craft beer, I guess.
But Pilsner is still king.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely.
Well, as Rasko was saying, we first sort of we knew a little bit about Czech beer, but a couple of years ago we was lucky enough to go to the Czech embassy over in Notting Hill for Czech Beer Day.
Oh yeah.
And that was kind of where we sort of realised that there is so much more to Czech beers. We found like Tuska and Sikov and found all these other different Czech beers.
Yeah, well, this is it. Like, so, and one of the reasons why Pivo, the venue, exists is because the common preconception of Czech lager in the UK certainly is Staropramen, Kozel, Pilsner Quell, Budvar, Prava, and that's it. And they're all right, I guess, but there's a whole world of more authentic, better produced, higher quality beers over there. So we're just sort of acting as a showcase for those smaller independent breweries and introducing them to the UK market. And it's great. It's great to be able to get people to, try those breweries like Svikov and Matuska that you mentioned, and just being able to educate people about it and, getting them enthusiastic about it because they're so much better. Like, I mean, I love Pilsner Quell, don't get me wrong. I love it, right? But, having now tried things like Bohemia Regen, Svikov, Kutna Hora, like they're leagues above, and it's great. So the Czech Beer Day, just going back to that, so that we're taking part in that this year. So there'll be there will be another event going on at the embassy, which we will have a presence at, and then we'll also be doing an event here. The exact details are still TBC, but we're trying to engineer it that we get some of the brewers over from Czech Republic, because hopefully all the restrictions, fingers crossed, should have been lifted by then. So we can do some like meet the brewer type events, and that's the plan. So that'll be pretty exciting if we pull that off. So
that would be amazing to hear. I figured it, obviously, because it was in, I think, June the last time, so I thought it had gone by the wayside this year. So that's quite good to hear, depending on how the restrictions. I mean, we hear a lot of, obviously, other like beer festival type events have gone by the wayside as well. So that's really good. We really enjoyed our time there. I always say it was a really typical example of like good Czech hospitality. And every time I've gone to the Czech Republic, which is only numbers single figures, unfortunately, it's always been amazing. The beer has been great and plentiful, which is only a good thing, really.
Yeah, they like to make sure that you're well watered, as it were. Yeah. you don't go thirsty.
No, that's it.
No,
And when the beer is good as well, that's a win-win situation, really.
That's it.
Comment from our #1 fan, Rasco and Disco, will be put up links to the Czech breweries on your Instagram after the show. Yeah. Always, mate, always. If we can find it, we can.
Yeah, so we'll put so when we put the show up, because the show will stay up on our Instagram, Dean, and as long as you're okay, we'll put it up on our YouTube as well during the week, and we'll obviously put links to your bar and links to the breweries that we're drinking tonight. I've got doubles of some of these, so I'll do a little review during the week as well on the beers that we've drunk. So they'll go on our Instagram page as well.
Awesome, yeah. If you need any info or links from us, just let us know. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I was looking on your website because you've obviously got a beer delivery situation going on. You've got on your website, you've got a beer delivery area. It's only quite close to where you are, isn't it? I mean, that's obviously quite a new thing. Is that you guys just delivering in the local area?
Yeah. For now, it's limited to a 5-mile radius, unfortunately, just due to the practicalities of it. So, but we are in the process of setting up a full e-commerce site, which will be delivering nationwide. Hopefully, that should be launching early autumn. Hopefully, but you know, keep an eye on our socials for that, because
Absolutely, yeah. So,
no worries.
I mean, obviously, we got some Czech beers. Obviously, because of the logistics, and we unfortunately didn't get it from yourselves. If anybody's out of London, we got it from a place up in York called the House of Trembling Madness. I don't know if you're aware of them guys, but they got some really good Czech beers and UK beers. That's where we got these ones from. I can see Czech Beer Club has just put a list of beers, some of which we're talking tonight. Jarosovsky, which is this one here, which is one I've not actually ever heard before, but I've got a few of those in. This one is the Lezak Pilsner.
Yeah.
Which I think you guys also do as well on your menu, don't you?
Yeah. So if I think we had that on draft earlier in the week. Jarosovsky is an amazing brewery. Like different styles, like consistently high quality, premium products. Yeah, and the bottles and the bottle labels are beautiful as well, just from an aesthetic point of view. I mean, it has to be said that some of the Czech breweries aren't that hot on their label design. You know, it's not like in the UK. So but the Jarosovsky ones are beautiful, I think.
I think they're pretty good in the fact they go for more like, rather than like the UK craft beer is a lot of, like crazy artwork and fun stuff, whereas the Czech stuff is kind of more like simple design and kind of classic kind of designs. And like you say, that Jarosovsky one, it is good artwork, but it is quite simple, plain, no messing about. Tells you the beer, tells you the name.
Yeah.
I you mentioned it just now. I'm going to move on to Bohemia Regent Dark.
Yeah.
And again, that's sort of a fairly classic kind of imperial sort of beer label. It's, you know, a lot of like old style art. It doesn't work too well on Instagram, but there is. Sorry, Rasko.
Yeah. Yeah, no. You've the Pivo team's got a question, which is a first for our guests. Can Pivo team talk about the difference in serving beer and caring for it in the pubs? Is there a different way to how the Czech people go about it? I know they're world-class pourers of beer. Is there anything you can elaborate? If not, don't worry, you're not under pressure.
Well,
I haven't installed the electric shock app
I'm not under
in
I'm about
my phone yet.
I'll probably get it very wrong, but here goes. Tell me if I'm doing it right.
And other guy with there. Hello, Adam. I'm Rasko. Nice to meet you. Just want, you know.
Well, Adam, would you like to answer this question?
Yeah. So, the kind of primary things that Czech bars do that is pretty different from the rest of the UK is partly in terms of the dispense and partly in terms of the way we keep our glasses clean, which is pretty different to a lot of other UK places. The kind of...
No, don't freeze. No. It's about to give us a great answer.
It will settle. It will settle. We were doing so well.
Well, sorry about this, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not going to go any more redder in the face.
Don't worry, it'll settle. It'll get there. You have to believe. Yes, it was a heavy pour, Phil, but it's a dark lager. It's a big glass, and I wanted to get a little bit ahead on it. I might have generated a bit too much. But as we was just hearing about different sort of Czech pours, hopefully Adam will come back and finish that one off shortly.
Yes, because that is one great question there. Thank you for everyone. A lot of new people. Pivo has left, and then we'll be joining us shortly. Disco, tell us about the beer you did.
Well, firstly, Kadaga said edge of my seat. Yeah, we're at the edge of our seat here as well because technical difficulties will always beseech us on this show. But yeah, no, the beer I'm drinking is Bohemia Regent Dark Lager, and as it's a fairly open secret on this show, we tend to go for the darker beers. That's why I definitely got this one in. It looked really good. There's some good dark malty flavours in it. A little bit of sort of toffee caramel. Bit of sultana going on.
1 second, mate.
Clear, crisp, easy drinking beer. I do love a dark lager, and that's probably where I'm going to head towards most of the time. As good as Pilsners and lagers are, I do go towards the dark.
No, yes, you do. I quite like dark lagers. I've got some very fond memories in Croatia drinking a dark lager called forgets me now. But hey, oh god.
Yes, you're right, Phil. If you believe he's coming home, then we believe Pivo will be back. We have to believe they will be back. It's they
have to be.
They will be. Yeah,
I'm going to now.
Fine.
I'm going to now neck this.
Chuck?
Because we've got a request.
Yeah, no, it's a really good beer, Phil. Bohemia Regent Dark. There we go. We're back in the house.
Hello. Hi.
Hey.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
Now, someone tell me that wasn't the Czech Secret Service just plugging us off before you reveal the big secrets of how to treat their beer.
I don't know. But you never know in this place, though. So, should I just carry on? Are we good?
Anyway.
Yeah.
Halfway through the appointment.
So one of the main things is the side pull taps that we have specifically made from for the venue which were designed in the Czech Republic. Pretty much everything actually in this venue was designed over there. It was a Czech team that built the place. But the Cyple taps especially give the specific Czech pour. So the way that the Cyple taps work, you've got them initially at 45 degrees where they're closed. If you open them up as far as, say, 60 degrees, it's all foam. And then a full 90 degrees, i.e. directly towards yourself as you're serving, then you've got the beer. So essentially, you want to get a healthy amount of heads in the initial pour. You want to like let a little bit drop out first so that the bubbles are smooth, so like that you've got like a nice smooth head. Get like about this much of foam, and then open it full out to beer, and then top the rest up. That's for a Hadlinka pint anyway. If you want a schnit, then it's a bit longer, but like, yeah. So that is, in terms of the dispense, that's kind of one of the main things we do differently. We also have specific gas types in the cellar, depending on the beer and on the brewery, which like our Martin, our ambassador, specifically rang up each of the breweries to ask them whether they prefer 60-40 gas or 70-30. So we kind of have.
Oh no!
Got again.
No.
This is one of the many issues with technology. I think we've lost. I know.
Oh.
No. Go back.
And finally, the other main thing is the Spielboy, which is how we clean our glasses, or specifically our pint glasses. So the Spielboy is a very common thing in Czech bars. So rather than using a traditional like glass washer, we have a system which on one side is a brush with a very specific glass washing tablet mixed in, which does all the kind of like produces the bubbles in which does the cleaning. And then we have a rinse system on the other side of it. And then once it's clean, we have a cooling bath, which we leave the glasses in for a couple of minutes to cool down, so that in theory, every single pint that we are pouring is in a cold, wet, clean glass. And that is also very important. To pat ourselves on the shoulder a little bit, because we have been working with Budvar a little bit, who have been very helpful in setting us up. And the reason, if you're wondering why we work with Budvar, is because technically they are independent because they are state-owned. But they, we did a test a couple of weeks ago with one of our glasses where you fill the glass with salt, and if it sticks, then it means that there's no grease inside the glass, and therefore it's clean. And they were saying that basically we are the only pub that has actually passed that test. So we're pretty pleased with that so far. So yeah.
Funnily enough, me and Matt were talking about that very same subject a few weeks ago, so I'm glad to hear you say that. Just a quick technical question I think has come through from Czech Beer Fan Club. I don't actually know what it means, but in relation to the taps, are they Lucra taps?
They are, yeah. So the sideboard taps were invented by the Lucca company. But yeah, other manufacturers make them, but yes, they are Lucca taps.
What's the significance about them then?
Just manufacturer.
Sorry, hello?
Sorry.
All right.
What's the significance about the sideboard taps?
Yeah. No, don't listen to me. I'm losing track of you.
No, I think he means the significance of Lucra taps opposed to anybody else. That is just a company of manufacturer, presumably.
Yeah, they were the ones who first made them. Yeah, so they're like the genuine, the real deal, the genuine article.
There's some good stuff coming from.
I just want.
Sorry, Vasco, go on.
I just want to say hello to one of my local breweries, Signal, hello. I'm sorry I've not been by recently. And everyone else joining. I believe also Brad Evans has joined us for the first time ever. Hello, Brad. Good to see you. Why don't you join us on the show some point?
We've got a couple of other people who have joined as well. I see the design company who designed the bar have joined, Mood and Design. Hello, Mood and Design. And I think there's some other of our Czech colleagues who are saying hello as well.
Super. Welcome, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us tonight.
So, hang on, you got a design company. If I'd known that, I would have put some decorations up, not in disco. He's got some T-shirts and beer cans in the background.
As Adam said, the whole venue was designed, conceived, built, by various Czech companies, manufacturers. So, sort of. I think we're the only thing that's not Czech about it. So,
but welcome fans of Czech beer,
Well, yeah, exactly.
Well, fair enough. So you're getting beer obviously directly from the Czech Republic. I hate to say this, but is Brexit being an issue with getting your beer across the border, or is it just swimming through, no issue, no problem?
Well, fortunately, we don't have anything to do with that. So, however, I do know. So we don't have to deal with that particular headache. However, I've heard enough about it to know that it is a massive ball ache, and since Brexit, it is got a whole lot more complicated. So there's a lot more admin, there's a lot more paperwork that I have to fill out for every single thing that comes across. Yes, it has caused delays. Yes, all the suppliers have got issues with drivers. There's not enough drivers. Brexit has caused all sorts of problems across the whole supply chain. So, yeah.
Well, we're quite glad you kept that answer light, to be fair, and didn't go too political on it. So, but yeah, that's the simplest answer. It's not a problem. So, presumably, you get your beers from a distributor, is it, and then they get them into the country?
Yeah. So we've partnered with a company called Euroboozer.
We met them again, say 2 years ago, with the Czech Beer Days. So yeah.
Yeah, they're great guys. I've worked with them for donkey's years now. But they import all of our beers for us. Cold chain direct from Czech Republic. They pick it up from various locations, various breweries, and bring it over direct to us. And they're a fantastic company to work for. So they have to deal with all the logistics headache. So I just make sure that the orders are done in time. So
yeah, I've seen a few of their. We follow some of their stuff on Twitter, so we know guys. I just see a question come in, and it's another good point. Talking about setting up the bar, like Phil Smith was saying, the nearest tube station to Pivo, which I believe is Old Street. You were up in the
Battle Barbican, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Old Street's a 10-minute walk. Barbican's like a 5-minute walk, so.
Was there any particular reason for Old Street? Was that like a location that was identified as like?
Yeah, so Pivo was established by 4 main Czech investors. One of which has a design company. So being in Clerkenwell with all the design companies was a very important consideration for the location. Plus also, you've got Old Street, Shoreditch down the road. So you've got all the other craft beer bars. There's other notable bars and restaurants around the area, so it's a good central location to get into. I mean, there's other things that we would aspire to, like having a bigger outside space, but obviously that's few and far between in central London. So otherwise, I think we've got a pretty good spot. So.
Absolutely, but then that's obviously other options going forward. I mean, you've only been open, was it a month you've been open?
I think we're in weeks.
Almost 6 weeks.
Yeah, approaching 6 weeks, yeah.
Must have been quite some task opening a bar in the situation, as we call it, in the middle of lockdown and situation.
Sorry, what? I don't know what you mean.
Was there much bashing your head against the wall to get it off the ground and get it going?
Yeah, but not because of COVID. It's I mean, obviously, last year and the start of this year was challenging for thousands of people for all sorts of reasons.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
The hospitality industry, is always under pressure, but especially with the perfect storm of Brexit, COVID. It's very challenging. And it continues to be so, but it's like that's one of the great things about working in hospitality. You face different challenges every day, and that's part of the in some twisted way, that's part of the appeal of it. Just no day is ever the same, and you get up and you face a different challenge every day, and you get over it and win or not, and live to fight another day. And this
actually getting over the line.
Yeah, this doing the venue during the pandemic. I mean, on the one hand, it presented us with the time to consider a lot of things and do get something, some key considerations absolutely right. However, obviously, it did complicate things and did slow things down a bit, and it made things a bit difficult. But we got there in the end. So, did I answer your question? I kind of veered off a bit there. I don't know.
Much like this stream, I seem to have settled down. I don't want to challenge it, but we seem to have settled down into a nice technological stream now. So we're doing all right.
Nobody touch anything. Don't touch anything.
No, exactly. Yeah. All I was going to say was,
hands up.
In all the questions, they scroll up in the comments. So, hello again to everybody commenting. Thank you so much. I've missed a few questions there. One question I did see was, sorry, Rasco?
No, you're about to say, I was going to say the question, what's been your best beer, most popular beer so far?
Absolutely.
So, I mean, like our kind of staple Pilsner is the Kutnahora 12, or the Zwickhoff 8 glass blowers, which have both sold very well. However, the Jarozhowski and the, I'm going to butcher this, but Unyatiske has been like selling like wildfire. And I'd be remiss to not mention Canek as well. So, yeah.
I've just seen a few comments about Canek, coming through. So.
just so we're all aware, it's actually pronounced Canets. Just as it to be official about it. However, the UK British Anglophobes often read it as Canek. So yeah.
Is this it?
That's the one.
Yeah,
that's the one. That's the lovely Canek.
I was just having a quick look at the menu.
There you go.
I've actually got Budvar Dark on at the moment, so.
Yeah. No. So we've always got at least one Budvar on. But
what am I talking about? Budvar Dark, but sorry, I noticed you've got Budvar Dark on.
Yeah, so we've always got a dark lager. We've always got at least one dark lager. We try and make sure that we've got across the range and the sort of colour spectrum of lagers. So we've always got a light pale lager right through to the premium gold lagers, to the amber Vienna lagers, the semi-darks, and always a dark lager as well. And that's one of the fun things about the projects, like introducing a UK audience to styles of lager that they wouldn't have come across before.
Love it.
It's people trying dark lager for the first time. It's quite something. Like watching their expressions, and it's just like a little bit of mind blown every time. Just like,
yeah,
huh? What?
Yeah.
So it's great.
Well, yeah, I mean, because we prefer the darker stuff, I'm much more about the dark lagers, having tried Budvar Dark many, many years ago. That was probably my first Czech beer, and so this one is brilliant. I mean, I had an English dark lager, a black lager that had black cherry and vanilla, and off a brewery called Wild Weather up in Reading, and didn't taste like a lager. Right, yeah. This very much tastes like a lager, but with that darker maltiness and those other flavours going on. So this is very much my thing.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of, you mentioned UK breweries, like, our friends down at Utopian, down in Devon, did an amazing dark lager last year, which was like one of the best beers of the year, I think, in terms of modern UK beers.
And also Donzoko up north are quite big for lagers as well.
I'm literally wearing a Donzoko shirt right now, so yes.
That's that. Well, yeah, I see your Donzoko and raise you a Matuska t-shirt, but we're all doing well for the merch.
I should have represented one of the Czech breweries, but oh well. I've got a Matuska glass on the go at least, so that's something like.
That's a good point, actually. I'm glad you raised that about glassware, importance of glassware in Czech beers. Does the type of glass matter? I mean, I've got a big, just generic Stein on for this one, but my last one was a little Sikov glass, which I got from Sikov. But what's the deal with glassware in terms of Czech beer?
Well, so the kind of the intention, whether like the Zvikov one you've got there is a very good example. So like they're kind of like a bulb almost, and it's kind of to like that top line there is essentially literally there for head, and the rest is for beer. If it was like kind of a standard pour at least, and like the majority of the Czech glassware is kind of designed specifically for that, so it's kind of got the little kind of bulbous kind of top to literally retain the head from, and also to kind of measure against. We have our own glasses coming at some point soon.
Actually, it should be.
It was meant to be this week, wasn't it? Yeah.
It should have arrived yesterday.
Yeah, we have. Well, is that an example here?
Not down there.
But like, yeah, we have our own customized glasses that specifically made for us that are coming, which essentially is to try and meet the best of both worlds, so that we are having a UK standard pint, but with enough room at the top to also accompany the Czech level of head that you'd normally expect to receive. As we have been waiting for them for a while, it's been a little bit difficult because like we have like mostly relied on these Budvar glasses, which are beautiful, but they are UK pint size, like pretty much to the brim. Like once we have our own, which are supposed to be here any day now, it's basically will look a bit like this, but a bit bigger. I think Dean has gone to get one to show you guys, but like, yeah.
Cool.
Fantastic. That is just marvellous. That I don't know what else to say. This beer is going well. It's a lot more, I would find, more sessionable than the previous one. It's 5% though, so maybe not too much, but it's going down a dream. It is world-class lager. That's a beautiful glass.
These are our custom ones, which we have a few display ones of, but we're waiting. Essentially, the delay has been just waiting for them to be marked by the UK marking, pints and standards. Yeah, but yeah, this is essentially what we will be serving from once the full shipment arrives. So like essentially the pint line kind of comes up to the top of the handle, and then you've got like at least like a couple of fingers here in which for foam.
That sounds like just another hurdle to overcome in the current climate.
Pretty much, yeah.
We like a challenge.
The Czech Beer Club is already putting an order in for it, so there you go.
I bet Rob is, yeah. But in terms of is like you say about not getting round, but like accommodating the British pint laws and stuff. How does that affect then things like? I mean, I only know the vague technicalities, but like you say the different pours. Like, are you allowed to do like a Milko pour there, or is that just not allowed?
Well, we get around it by charging, but we charge for the UK standard measures, i.e. pints, halves, and thirds, 2/3, and we serve the different pours accordingly. So I think we're doing the Milko's third, doing it third.
Half to a half, but like next to doing half. Yeah, like we're kind of working with it to fit within UK standards, and also kind of like asking basically every customer, like, would you like it the Czech half or would you like a UK half? You know, and obviously recommending the Czech half, but legally we have to offer the standard UK half, basically. But
yeah, and also like the people who ask for the Milko serve are you know, they know what they're getting, so
yeah, you have to know about it to ask for it, kind of, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. It's like a secret handshake type thing, you know.
Oh, fair enough. That is fantastic. Oh, fellas, this is great stuff. Just a bit about you two. Have you been in the beer industry long, or is this you just dropped into it, or are you brewers, or you just been serving?
No.
What's your background?
Well, I've been working in hospitality since I was about 16 years old. So you know, a couple of years, and I met him whilst working at whilst I was running the Beer Merchants Tap in Hackney Wick. Just working in around various pubs and bars around London for, like I say, a couple of years. And Adam?
Yeah, well,
two or three.
I guess I like specifically concentrated on more craft beer stuff in the last 3 or 4 years, but I've been working in hospitality before that, but I guess specifically like in proper beer venues since I started at Beer Merchants, which was 2018, so like 4 years ago. And in between Beer Merchants and here, I was working at Cloudwater for a while at the London tap room for those guys. So it's been a little bit of a culture shift from that, but yeah.
Yeah. Fair enough. Because the reason I ask is beer. I think things go in roundabouts and people's habits change. I think a lot of people were interested with graphic design and stuff. And I think craft beer in particular, has now become the trend to get into. Have you got any recommendations how to get into the beer world for some people out there who are listening?
It's a tough gig to get into. But I think anyone who wants to get into craft beer specifically now is it's challenging. It's challenging, and particularly now, it's really challenging because a lot of the venues have had to downscale a bit in terms of teams and breweries. I know there's quite a few forums on Facebook for craft beer and that world. So there are avenues in, but yeah, there's a lot of who you know. As with most industries, it's a lot to do with who you know, and working your way up kind of thing. So yeah.
But that said, I would also say at the moment in the current climate, there is kind of more jobs than people at the moment. So actually, right now, there's probably more. Well, there's a lot more opportunity to get involved, at least from a very like entry level. Just because like the whole hospitality industry is looking for staff right now. Like the usual kind of workforce is not what it used to be. And I would say part of that is COVID related, part of that is Brexit related, but like there's actually quite a lot of stuff out there, but there's limited space because obviously every brewery and company are working within a certain means. Like, and I've gone. Sorry, I'm done. Sorry.
I'm just reading the comments. Just reading the comments, and I think let's do a walk around. If everyone's happy with that, we'll hope that the technicalities don't fail us.
Well, let's give it a go. Because you can always come back.
Walk around. We're going to show everyone where we are. Okay, so this is our downstairs venue. So this is our basement venue. Sort of good place for meetings, private hire, soundproof room. Watching the football on that massive screen there.
Is there any football happening? By any chance?
Apparently, there's something happening tomorrow. I don't know.
At 8 o'clock.
For America.
Brazil, Argentina. It's a big game.
Let's go. Yeah, we'll go upstairs. So that's downstairs. This is downstairs bar. So we're going to go upstairs.
Looks good. Looks very good. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. I knew this was going to happen. Ladies and gentlemen, we're doing a tour of the Pivo UK in Old Street. And it's broken down on you. Ah, you're back. Hello.
This is the Czech contingent who have the night off. So,
hello.
You wanted to see the fridges, so here's
yes. Phil wants to see the fridges. If you could just tell us what you got or not, or
can you see that all right?
Not really, to be honest, but if you just tell us what's there, that'd be fine. Yes, Phil, I'm taking the mick about the football. That looks beautiful. I'll be by as soon as I can. I might be by next week because I'm working in Stratford and I can just pop along the train and come and see you.
So it's a bit hard. It's a bit hard to see, but anyway, here's that.
What have you got on taps? That question keeps coming up.
On taps at the moment, so we got the. Hang on. So that's what we got at the moment. Get away from the bar. All right, we're going to go behind the bar. So.
Brilliant.
Nice. Wow.
Right, so Adam's gonna go through the whole pour now. So hang on, let me. Right, there you go. So this is the Spool Boy. So this is the process that we go through for every glass. God, I hope you're not taking the mic. Lol. What football really? Lol. Lol. Yes, Phil Smith, we are taking the mic. So wet cooling sink. So every glass gets chilled first, and then come over to the beer pour. So Adam's pouring a Kutnahora 12.
Wow.
So we're getting the foam first, followed by the beer. So that's the net. So that's sort of Czech half pint. I don't like having half pints in small glasses.
Okay.
Right.
So it's now gonna demonstrate a full foam pour. The milker.
Spot on.
Ooh.
Absolutely spot
Full
on.
glass of foam. There you go.
That is amazing. What foam.
Cheers.
Nastravia.
Nice driving. Hang on. Sorry. So, didn't quite get the fridges, but hang on.
No, that's a great look around. That looks really good. Really good.
Yeah.
We love it. We love it. Thank you very much for doing that.
Super. I mean, there's a lot of. There's also a few more photographs and a look around on your website as well. So it's worth a look on there on pivohub.co.uk.
That's the one. That's the one. Yep.
Very much appreciate that, Dean.
Yeah. Pleasure.
Look, anything you do in the future, please let us know, and we'll do our best to plug it, because we're beer enthusiasts, not experts, and we just want to we never want to go back to drinking piss. So anything we can do to push a good beer experience along the road, we will help. So anything you got going, like a mini festival or something, look us up, man.
Absolutely.
We will push it for you.
Lovely. Thank you very much.
Let's go.
Yeah. I don't know, have any more questions appeared out there? Or have you got anything to ask us? It is our show.
How did you get involved? Like, what sparked your enthusiasm for? You meant for Czech beer, I was going to say, but because you mentioned the Czech Embassy, Czech Beer Day previously. Was there anything like up until that point? What was your go-to sort of lager drink, premium drink before Czech lager revolutionized your life?
Right. Do you want to answer that first, or shall I?
You go first. I mean, I've got a few stories about that. What was your first point? I don't know. Go on. You go first, because.
So, I've always been a bit of an arse with my beer. I've never liked those commercial lagers that you find in the UK, and as you might tell by the look of my hair, I'm quite young. So
yeah, a bit like me. Yeah.
Yeah. So I always used to pick out an ale or something, and then I always knew of the reputation that certain East European countries had for lager, and I owe this to Wetherspoons. I'm not going to say it, although I refuse to go into one at the moment. I owe my Czech beer experience to Wetherspoons, and it's to Kozel, and that was far better. You spoke about saying Kozel's not where Czech beer is, but let's face it, Kozel 20 something ago was far better than any Heineken or Foster's.
Let me just jump in there with a quick story. I spent my 18th birthday in a Wetherspoons drinking Kozel, and I got absolutely shit faced, and found an armchair on East Ham High Street and then puked. It was brilliant.
I walked down East Ham High Street. That could be the most fun you could have on East Ham High Street.
Yeah.
Was the Wetherspoons on East Ham High Street, opposite the town hall?
The mill as well, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, classic. Anyway, sorry, carry on.
Yeah. No, so Basically, I personally have always had that respect for Czech beer. I've never made it out to the Czech Republic, silly me. But I've always grabbed at any Czech beer I can get in my hat. I could always get. I'm just an enthusiast for beer, and that's why I want to do this. And I just want to talk about beer. I mean, I don't want to go to necessarily the scientific levels that, say, other beer reviewers doing. One we might have hijacked on Twitter this week to announce that we were doing this. We love you. We much respect for you if you're still watching, Brad. But that's it. We're just beer enthusiasts. We love beer.
Yeah.
And we just want to try every beer going out there.
Well, that's it. You got, you've got to be, there's so much available now that you've got to try it. You've got to open your eyes to it, and and talking specifically about Czech beer is like, as I said earlier, it's about what we're trying to do is just, introduce these brands that aren't familiar to the UK, and open people's eyes to the fact that Czech beer is not just Pilsner Urquell, as great as it is, and it's certainly not Star Apartment, just trying to broaden people's horizons a bit, and also just trying to make sure that people who walk into a pub and ask for a pint of lager, are aware that there is so much better out there than your generic macro brands. So even if Adam does like Tennent's.
I've just seen the comments go through about Tennent's, but that's an entirely different show. I don't mind a bit of Tennent's.
Tennent's is the best shit lager in the country. Don't at me.
I'm a McEwen's man myself. I was once made an honorary Scotsman in Ibiza because I outdrunk a bunch of lads from Stirling on McEwen's.
Yeah.
So
was they on the shillings or what?
I couldn't tell you what it was. I was wasted, man, but I drank more than them.
So, Disco, go on then. Tell us your silly stories.
No, not really silly stories. I mean, the earliest one I remember, I think, was a good 15 years ago at Camera Beer Festival in St Albans, where I had a Dark.
Yeah.
It blew my mind. It was like, it's amazing, it's brilliant. But it wasn't until a few years later, again, obviously you mentioned Pilsner Urquell, I'll mention them, but I was lucky enough about 6 years ago to do a brew day at a pub in Putney with Windsor and Eton and Pilsner, where we actually brewed a Pilsner. And it was kind of then that I learned about the sort of, not the difference between lager and real ale, because I was always a big real ale fan, but the similarities.
Yeah.
You've got a great one. You've got the extra hot one.
Have I?
That's one. Sorry to interrupt. That's one of my favourites. I love it.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Is that? I mean, it's similar, but that's not Kutnahora, is it? That's a different. Is that a different brand entirely to Kutnahora?
No, it is Kutnahora. It's quite confusing. I've got to be honest. I'm not entirely sure. I haven't had an answer yet as to why it's Kutnahorska. Because
the font is,
but it's Kutnahora. The version that you've got there is, I think personally, fucking amazing. I think it's brilliant.
Cool. That was going to be one of our lists. That's your favourite. Let's answer that. Whilst we're on the topic, I've got something different as well, because I've actually got a Czech Stout, which I didn't actually really know existed, but Morion.
So we've actually got the Albrecht Marion Stout on draft at the moment. So Adam's gonna get us a little schooner of that.
Cool.
There's actually a lot of smoke coming out of it. You can't see it on the screen, but I'm excited. I've even cleaned the glass out for us. Here goes to my dickhead pour.
That's it. I've built it up now, haven't I? Built it up.
Yes, you have. I've even poured it Czech style, or at least
Nice and
fried.
clear, yeah, nice and clear, man.
Oh my God, that is clear. I can see Peter Crouch clearly through this glass on my TV in the background, and his fabulous co-host.
Czech Beer Fan Club says that Morion is lovely. It absolutely is. It is a really good stout. I quite like sweet beers. A lot of people don't like sweetness, but that is really nice sweetness. A lot of like dark malt in there. And a little bit of like Sultana currants going on. Therefore, a little bit of bitterness, but that's really nice. That is really nice.
I tell you what, mate, this beer here I'm drinking, there is a bit of debate, when will it be the year of lager? If craft brewers brewed lager like this, it would be this week. This would be the year of lager, because this is
Banging, innit?
This is
that looks even better than the glass on Adam's pour there. Thank you.
This is next level lager. I'm not kidding. It's just so smooth.
Yeah, the extra hopped is really good. I mean, the funny thing is, though, is that, like, in my experience, all the brewers, even of, like, your biggest hype breweries, and obviously as I said, as I've come from Cloudwater, I've kind of experienced a bit of this. I'm working, so, like, Cloudwater's Festival, FFB, which I was at last year, at the kind of the after party with all the brewers who had come over from America and various other places. These people who are responsible for some of the most hype, like, you know, dank double IPAs and triple IPAs or very silly imperial stouts, all of them just want a nice lager or a nice session pale, right? And the fact that, because at the time we had Track downstairs, and they had Sonoma on cask, and literally one of my favorite memories was all these American, like really like quite well respected American brewers queuing up to pour their own little pint of Sonoma on cask because they'd all heard so much about it. That's all they wanted. It was great. Like
that's a beer I've seen about, but I've not actually got around to getting yet. But it did look very, very good.
Yeah, it's amazing. But yeah, Adam's right. Like all the silly beer festivals, like, you know, all the sour beer festivals. Like there was an event that we did at Beer Merchants, like a lambic beer day, and like you can drink as much lambic as you want, but it's gonna rot your guts in the end. But like you know, everyone ends the day I just want a lager. I just want a nice crisp lager. So Pivo, the venue, has kind of come along at just the right time, where, you know, the interest for lager and premium quality lager with quality ingredients and heritage and all of that, like, has come along at just the right time. You know, there's a number of like well-hyped UK craft brewers doing lager actually really well these days. You know, I mentioned Utopian earlier, Don Zoco, Braybrook,
Lost and Grounded.
Lost and Grounded Keller Pills is like one of the best consistently best beers.
And their Hellers. I mean, like, their Hellers is now a regular at the Sutton Arms, which is a great pub around the corner from us, which is where we had our managers earlier. But anyway, like, like, Lost and Grounded Hellers is fantastic. Like,
so the fact that you've got all these sort of like hype breweries doing like they're aspiring to do a quality lager. They're aspiring to do a Czech Pilsner style lager. Who was it? I think was it Brick? Brick Brewery down in South East London did an amazing homage to.
Do you mean Orbit?
Oh, maybe it was Orbit.
Yeah, Orbit.
To be honest, I get confused.
Yeah, no, I think it was
Might have been Orbit.
It's like they did a trip to the Czech Republic, and then they, after touring around several breweries, they came back to then make a beer based on their findings, I guess. Like,
and it was really, really fucking good. So a lot of the craft breweries, the high craft breweries, are aspiring to do Czech style lagers. So so it's nice for us as a venue to be able to sort of like show the real deal, the authentic, you know, those small independent brewers that these hype brewers are sort of drawing inspiration from. So
and because they are mostly hitting the mark as well. Generally, like a lot of the Pilsners and the Helles I've had from British craft breweries have pretty much hit the mark. They've been very drinkable, very tasty, and a good assimilation of the style.
Yeah, well, this is it. Like the lager market has moved on considerably, and it's just when you walk into a pub and you only see Carling, Kronenberg, Stella, or on tap, it's like, let's move on, lads.
I generally will probably be able to tell that before I've gone in the door and won't even fucking walk in. But,
of course. But there's it's just trying to make people aware that there's a lot better on offer, like for the lager, because the lager drinker was maligned, I guess, for a large portion of the last 10 years.
Longer.
Whilst everyone was going hot mad, and it's nice to see that there's a bit of a renaissance. It's like, and I for one have been thoroughly enjoying getting back into lager again, and seeing the variety, because it's great. Like I was saying earlier about like trying dark lagers for the first time. It's just like, it's a revelation.
I mean, I did much malign the macro lagers generally, but then that sort of that was in the back of my head when I'm looking at sort of craft stuff and traditional lagers and not really quite realizing it. And it was like I say, when I did that brew day, I realized that there's not much difference in the brew process apart from the lagering afterwards and how long it takes to store and to keep and to get into bottle or keg or whatever. I realised there's not much divergence really. So it's like then I'm thinking, well, then I'll try some more lagers, especially the craftier type. What I'm just going to ask quickly, because I'm on a Czech stout. I've got to check that out, if you pardon the pun. We've done well so far not to put that pun in. I do love good fun, but is there much in the way of Czech stouts? Because this is the first one I kind of remember seeing, really.
So we've only got a couple. So we've got this one, which we have in bottle all the time, and we occasionally have on draft. We also have the Mouflon Tramvai Russian Imperial Stout.
Right.
I mean, honestly, I haven't tried it yet, so I can't tell you.
Now's the time.
Boy, funnily enough, I was reading a review about it yesterday, which suggested that it's not as imperial as a typical imperial stout might be. Now, I don't know, but I'm not massively into stouts, so I couldn't possibly say. But in terms of Czech stouts, no, it's not a massive thing. It's just those two, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, like the Katarzyna, also by Albrecht, like one of their dark lagers has like a little bit of a heaviness to it. We also the other week had Utopian's Cherney. We had a keg of that, which like was tasting fantastic. But like the one thing we did notice was that like it was a little bit heavier than like the kind of regular Czech dark lager. So like that had a tiny bit more in common with stout. But yeah, in terms of like just your kind of classic stout, is only a couple that we've really got. Like,
I think there's a few of the sort of more modern Czech craft brews that do dabble in it, but It's not a regular thing for them.
Well, we kind of touched on this at the beginning of the
Ordering
show.
on the Imperial Stout, so you have to. Sorry, Vasco.
Yes, Phil. Yes, Phil.
Yeah, yes, Phil. They will get on the stout just for you. Honestly, Phil, I'm gonna have you on this show, mate, just to see, so the world can see how crazy you are.
Is he a regular?
Yes.
He's regular on a Saturday night, and he orders us about and tells us what to say. So yeah.
Yeah.
Good man.
I was going to say, we brought this up at the beginning of the show. So there is this tendency that the Czech beer market is moving towards kind of mimicking a craft thing. Is there any like New England IPAs? Have they adopted IPA? The Czech market.
Yeah, so we had one on recently.
We've got one on now.
Which one we got on there?
The Siberia.
Yeah. We haven't tried that one yet.
Yeah.
So we've got a craft brewery from Czech Republic that I mentioned earlier called Siberia. So we've got their New England Pale on at the moment, and we had Mouflon, wasn't it? Yeah, Mouflon. So the Mouflon one wasn't a typical New England IPA.
It wasn't a New England.
It was marketed as a New England IPA, but it wasn't really. So as I say, like there are a number of new, younger Czech breweries like dabbling in other styles, but you know, I'll tell you what, there's one that we are quite excited to get hold of, which should, fingers crossed, be coming over on our next shipment, hopefully, all things being well. So it's a brewery called Wild Creatures, who do sours and like lambic style beers.
Yeah.
So pretty excited to get them. You know, so we're just trying to work out a few logistics for that at the moment. And then there's another one called Raven, and they do a whole breadth of styles from pales to stouts to sours. So, you know, it'll be interesting to get a few of them. But yeah, it's just about like, so we've got our core list of breweries that we work with, and then we're just sort of like trying to establish like these networks of like the newer guys as well, like just to see, you know, just to make sure that we've got a good representation of what is actually happening in Czech Republic on the beer scene as well. Because yes, of course, the primary focus is the lager and the, you know, making sure that we've got the premium lagers and all that, but like also, you know, we want to make sure that we're showcasing the best of what else is happening as well.
That's again, I'll give a big shout out to Czech Beer Fan Club over on Facebook, because almost every day it seems, or it feels like every week anyway, I see a different Czech brewery that I don't know about. Somebody either in the Czech Republic or here has got one. They're always posting pictures of different breweries and new kind of breweries that I don't know about. So that is a great resource. If anybody else is listening, I know there's a few people in from Czech Beer Fan Club tonight, but anybody who isn't and who is a Czech Beer fan, definitely worth checking out Czech Beer Fan Club over on Facebook. So I've got to give them another shout out, by the way.
Much love.
Always good to find out about new breweries and new stuff, and if we can get them into London, again, Pivo's a great place to go and check them out. So it's a good place to find out about stuff.
Yeah, definitely. Czech Beer Fan Club have been doing an amazing job of advocating Czech beer for like some time now. So yeah, hats off to them and the work that they've been doing.
It seems like every other comment going through is Canik. So I don't know if we've not talked enough about Canik. So but that's one of the breweries I don't know about. So.
Adam, talk about Canik.
Glasgow's drinking it still, so.
I was.
Canets is one of our core breweries that we have here. It's one of our main sort of 8 to make up the Czech Brewing Alliance. It's also one of the favorites within the team, which is kind of why it's kind of taken off within our day-to-day kind of business. So
Day-to-day vocabulary.
Yeah, vocabulary, everything. So we love a bit of Canic. Canic. Yeah.
Superb. We asked Dean, are you going with Canic as your favourite, Adam, or what is your favourite? What's your kind of go-to Czech beers?
I would probably say either Jarozovsky or again, I'm going to butcher it, but Uniestyka. Unietyska, sorry. Unietyska and Jarozovsky are probably my 2 favorites. Or Regent is very good as well. Yeah, I mean, to be honest, even talking about kind of the sort of bigger lagers, I mean, honestly, even Budvar is tasting really good here. I mean, we finished it recently, but we, up until a couple of days ago, had the Kreuzend, which was the unfiltered version of their lager, which is pretty rare in this country. So it was quite cool to offer a kind of more authentic, I guess, Budvar products that no one else really gets. But also because we are serving it how it's kind of supposed to be served in the Czech Republic, and we even have a kind of 2-step system that we can do on request in terms of pouring. It's kind of something that Budvar are kind of bringing in specifically, but essentially what the 2-step pour is that you pour about 2/3 of the beer out, let the glass settle for about 30 seconds, and the whole purpose of that is that you let the CO2 out, so that you then, when you top up the rest, which you kind of fully submerge into the tap, it becomes a much smoother drinking experience. So the gas is all gone, and it's there's none of it. You're not going to burp, basically. It's just going to be able to knock down, and that's kind of quite conducive to really what a lot of Czech beer is really about, and what it's supposed to be kind of served is that it's meant to be just kind of just smashable, and we have found on many occasions that is very much the case. So
as an experiment, we tried the 2 Budvars together.
Yeah.
So one pours the way that Adam was talking about with a 2-step pour, and then I poured one really badly, and
British pour.
Typical Brit pour. And we tried them next to each other, and I have to say that the difference is remarkable. The doing it the proper 2-step way was just so smooth. The difference is next level. It really is, and it is funny. Because you get a pint of beer, you get a pint of lager. It's just it's just lager, isn't it? It's wet and fizzy, but trying it the authentic Czech way is just, it just opens up a whole new world of drinking this thing that you think you're familiar with. It's amazing.
Guys, what you're saying is actually touching my heart in a very big way, because I bring back heated debates I had with friends many years ago who were just telling me to neck it, down it, and I was always saying, no, there is a way to pour a beer properly, and I'm just glad for Czech culture to take this to the next level, guys. That's quite deep for me, honestly. So thanks for that stuff. You should do classes on this.
That is in fact the plan. So thank you for bringing that up, because we are literally we are currently in the kind of planning stages of literally doing that. So this room in particular and the bar that you can see behind us, our plan is to have small groups of people who want to learn more to have a little like, say, hour and a half sort of session where we like talk a little bit about the history, try a couple of the beers, let people to kind of like have a go at pouring their own beers, you know. So like, thank you for the segue, because that is exactly what we are planning next. So, like, yeah.
Superb. And that'd be a very handy thing to do. That'd be, having poured Czech beers, it's kind of part of the experience. It's kind of part of the fun of it. You pour your own beer and drink it. You don't really find that too much.
Yeah, for sure. It's a tricky thing to master, and it's I'm not sure I've mastered it yet, but it's but yeah, it's a fun experience. I'm sorry?
Yeah, you have to keep trying. If you get to drink your mistakes, obviously you've got to perfect it at some point.
Well, you know, it's better than chucking it down the drain, isn't it? Yeah.
Wouldn't it's almost illegal that to pour Czech beer down the drain.
I believe there's a defenestration for that in Czech Republic.
Absolutely, beer as you. Talking about which, there is one other one I want to mention. I assume I'm allowed to mention. Do you ever get any beer in from Bohème?
No, we don't.
Am I allowed to mention that? Are you friends, or is that
one of them here right now? So.
It's complicated.
Right.
It's complicated.
Just occurred to me.
Yeah. No, it's a perfectly reasonable, line of thought. No, Bohème Brewery do a great job of, brewing Czech style lager in London. We get on with them very well.
Cool. That's good.
It's not like it's not practical for us to be selling their beer. They've got their tap room in London. They do what they do, and they do it very well. And we're doing what we do, and it's a slightly different thing. Yeah.
So arguably not Czech beer, but it is because it's brewed by Czechs in London, but not Czech beer. But yeah. But I'm glad to hear you get on with them very well. So even if you don't promote them or anything like that, but yeah, it was just something that suddenly occurred to me. We mentioned a whole bunch of other Czech breweries. So I thought I'd just stick that one in, but
yeah. We're big fans though. They're a fantastic brewery. We had a trip up to their tap room as sort of research before we were opening here, and they actually were courteous enough to let us practice a wee bit on their taps and everything. So they're lovely guys. And they make fucking great beers. So yeah.
The fake hospitality again.
It kind of sounds to me like the commercial side of Czech beer. It's not as menacing or as in. Let's face it. The big Czech beers aren't necessarily as bad as Carling and Nog. I will happily drink Kozel, sort of, compared to anything out there. Bad Czech beer is pretty much what I would like English beer to be for a starting point. And let's face it, to move forward.
That's fair enough.
Well, for instance, I used to live in Germany for a while, so I'm kind of used to that kind of thing of the go-to example is a beer called Sternberg, which is from Leipzig, and it's literally 30 cents a bottle. It's fucking trash, but it's so much better than any of the equivalent kind of thing that you get in the UK, that it's still perfectly fine, it's just kind of, but then the UK isn't traditionally a lager drinking country. It's only something that happened in the last 30, 40 years, because UK was always an ale drinking country originally, so it's kind of not surprising that it doesn't have the same standards in terms of its lager production, because it was never really there in the first place.
True.
The way the UK has turned its back on its beer producing traditions is one of the biggest disgraces ever. Because I quite like reading a good old spy novel or spy film, and when I heard that the recipe for Vienna lager came out of an act of industrial espionage to the UK, I was like, what the fuck? And how protected brewers in the UK were at that time of people coming out. And Baltic Porter as well. It's like, what the fuck? I mean, the UK really needs to wake up to its history, because my thing, and I'm just going to rant now because this is what I do on the show.
There's a Rasco rant coming up.
Here we go. I want the UK, I want the brewers, I want all these trendy hip craft brewers to embrace the history of the UK more than look to America for inspiration. I want to dig up those old recipes more. And if you can do that, and if you guys can help, anyone in the comments can help, or just tell me to F off.
I think it's starting to happen. I think more and more modern breweries are like going back to the past and researching old recipes and heritage. I think a good example, I believe, is was it last year or the year before? I think a brewery down the road in Bethnal Green did a great mild.
Oh, Boxcar.
So
dark mild.
Boxcar Brewery sort of revived the mild, like the fucking mild, and it was like one of the best beers of the year. So there are people out there doing it. Like it's still.
I'd point to Colonel as well, because Colonel's like London Porter, and they're
consistently.
Like Colonel are just fantastic. Like and they kind of have. I mean, obviously they have a little bit of they have a tiny bit of a Belgian influence as well, but like they also are very much attuned to specifically London, like kind of heritage and like
Absolutely. Colonel's business model is quite almost unique. One I'd also highlight is Kissingate, who are quite low key down in Horsham, who you came in our very, very, very first video. I gave them beer of GBF 2018, and they did the dark cherry mild, and they are all about historical beers and new beers, but they're so low key. So please, anyone out there, look them up. Yes.
Also down here, I'd also give a shout out to Harvey's, even though they're an older brewery. But like Harvey's Best and Harvey's Mild are just like.
That's where we diverge on agreement slightly, Adam. Mild, yes, and the old beers. I'm no fan of Harvey's Best at all, but each their own. We can all agree to disagree. I know it's quite controversial maybe for me to say that, but yeah.
I mean, 5 points Best is good too. Like.
No, I'm all up for that. Yeah, that's another place we've got to go and check out a little bit more.
Here's the thing, though. But what I really admire about the Czech beer culture is that what happened, in this country is that they forgot how to serve beer properly, and cask has really suffered because of that in this country. So I have a friend who runs a pub down in Southampton, the Builder's Arms. He doesn't do any like trendy craft beer or anything, but he serves the best cask ale going because he's ex-military and he's so fucking diligent of just of putting the beer on there. And I think that's why I'm so glad to hear about you considering about classes of how to serve beer properly, and hopefully, and I'm gonna be honest. I mean, it takes a bit of diligence. You don't have to get a degree in it. It takes a bit of diligence, and you get a better drink. I mean, that's all the British market needs, and I just do not want to go back to drinking this.
Yeah. Well, I mean, cask beers is a perfect example. It's actually quite comparable to how Czech standards, to be honest, because they actually keep things. Obviously, the Czech lagers will be a lot colder, but there's still the same kind of level of dedication and, as you say, diligence between the two that actually they're very comparable. And that's the thing, is that cask beer in this country can be amazing. You just have to treat it right. And
yes,
you have, for instance, in London, you have places like the Southampton Arms up in Kentish Town, and you have Stormbird down in Camberwell, and the famous
the Wenlock round the corner from you.
Cock Tavern, that's the one. Yeah, Cock Tavern and Hackney. Those are three perfect examples of bars that keep a really wide array of cask beer really fucking well. And that is and it's a shame because people look down on cask beer a little bit because they drink it in places that don't look after it properly. Whereas if you actually go to the places that are going to give you the best service of it, makes a world of difference.
Absolutely. You didn't say the Wenlock Arms, which is round the corner from you, is there? I haven't been around there in a few years. Is it?
I haven't been there for a while, to be honest. I haven't been there for a while, but whilst we're on the subject of cask ale pubs, I guess just following on from Adam's segment about Harvest Best, I think the Harp in Covent Garden. Is the pub. Is the go-to pub for that in London. So, but it's right. It's if people treat their products with respect and due diligence and keep a clean, immaculate clean glassware, immaculate cellar conditions, and you as the customer is gonna get a great product. And it's worth paying the premium for. Not necessarily always at a premium cost. I mean, certainly some of the beers that we're selling here are actually pretty reasonable, I'd say, in terms of central London pricing. So, but it's one of the things that we're really focused on here, just serving the beer in a premium way, in the proper Czech standards with the premium glassware, and that's all part of the experience, so.
Yeah, I mean, just quickly to that list, I would also add just around the corner from you, the Old Fountain. They got some
the Old Fountain is a great pub. It's a great pub. I love it. Yeah.
Good social. I've got to Czech beers. Then at some point, and I apologise again for not actually getting up to you up until now since you've been open, but we will get there at some point.
I will be round to you in the next 2 weeks. I promise.
I hope so. I hope so, guys. It'd be great to have a beer with you here.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think we should head towards the wrapping things up. We're way beyond an hour and a half mark, so I'd say anyone in the comments got any questions, anything you want to say. And this will be the final 5 to 10 minutes. Go for it. Ask us anything. Even what my favourite colour is. I've got this beer I've just opened up.
Me and Ras chat for hours about beer, and I'm guessing, Dean, so could you, but obviously we don't want to take up too much of your time. We've taken up an hour and a half, so we sort of tend to wrap things up a little bit after an hour and a half. So unless you've got a half hour of spiel to do, we'll happily do that.
You're very kind, guys. It's been a pleasure talking to you both, and reading all the comments, and just having a chance to sort of talk about what we're doing here, and talk about Czech beer a bit more. It's been great. Honestly, it's the first time I've done anything like this.
Because all of this is show 50, right? We've been doing this for nearly a year. And we haven't had that many guests on, but all of the other guests we've had, it's been their first time on Instagram Live. So to find it your first time as well, thank you for embracing it and giving it a go. And I hope it leads on to other great things for you, like social media wise and doing other great stuff. If it means that you get to do other live stuff, and several of our guests have come back and they've enjoyed the experience so much, and if you say you have as well, so if we hopefully get onto YouTube and do like a YouTube live show as well, you'll be most welcome back to come and chat about Pivo and Czech beer again on a YouTube if we ever get over there, if you want to.
Amazing. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Yeah. Cool. Well, look, I mean, if there's no more questions or anything, we're going to say bye. And Nazdraví, and
Czech. I can't remember the Czech, but I did know it once. But thanks to everybody in the comments for chatting and being here. And also, guys, if you don't mind, like I say, we'll put it up on YouTube during the week, so there'll be some more views. And thanks to everybody if you're watching it on YouTube as well after the event. Dean, Adam, it's been brilliant. It's been a great night of really good Czech beer, as always. Fantastic Czech hospitality, and we hope to see you again soon.
Amazing. Thank you. All the best to you.
Cheers.
Adios. Leave enough to lose control.
Leave enough to lose control, yeah.
Indeed. Well, I thought that went really well.
Absolutely. Amazing, really good chats. Superb. Thank you to, again, thank you to everybody. Thank you for Czech Beer Fan Club over on Facebook. Yes. To be fair, organising this, putting out the original conversation and introducing us to Pivo. It's been really fun. And if you come across from Czech Beer Fan Club on Facebook, thank you also for joining us. And if you haven't, I want to go and check out Czech Beer Fan Club over on Facebook. They're also on Instagram here and on Twitter as well. That's a good post.
And I've really got to say thank you to everyone who joined us. A lot of new faces. Phil, thank you as ever. Brandon, I know you were there. Signal, Brad Evans, and everyone else who has joined us. We couldn't get to every single comment. I'm sorry. Yeah. But thank you very much. And Disco, you were the main architect behind this one. Well done to you, sir, for pulling this together. It's been a good one. I've really enjoyed it. Thank you.
No, superb. And I know Rob is there in the comments. There he is there. Thank you. This is how easy it is, Rob. If you do want to come and talk about Czech beer with us, and Chris also, I know we'll be watching afterwards. It's just like a beer in a pub, isn't it? Really, it's just like a nice little chat with some beers. So if you do want to, we'll sort it out. There we go.
And on that note,
on Instagram with Rasko and Disco.
Like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe. Good night, everybody. Thank you very much. Cheers to the beer.
Good night.
Nazdraví.
Bye bye. Nazdraví. Oh yeah.
Yeah, you got to do that, Rasko. You got to do that. You got to do the.
Nazdraví.